Hi, my name is David Harding, and I would like to welcome you to Anshin Consulting's research series. This audio presentation is a short summary of a research paper recently published in the Journal of Applied Security Research. It is titled Using Ethnography to Identify Deviant Behaviours for the Development of Crime Prevention Interventions. Background to this research. If you were to conduct a review of security and crime prevention literature, you would identify that there is a gap between developmental and environmental crime prevention practices. Essentially, there is a period of time between when a person leaves a developmental program, such as a family support, home visiting, or academic assistance programs, and the time that that same person is standing in front of a residential house preparing to commit burglary. Because of this, it was hypothesized that if potential burglars and the communities that support them were identified, it may be possible to develop and implement interventions to guide potential offenders along alternative non-deviant pathways. This would then prevent and reduce the incidence of burglary crime. So to gain a better understanding of deviant beliefs and behaviours, it was anticipated that the use of ethnographical methods, which is the observation of participants within their natural environment, would be most useful. This understanding would then better inform interventions which could then be specifically tailored to guide deviant burglars along non-deviant pathways. It was also anticipated that a community-based crime prevention organisation, such as Neighbourhood Watch, would be a useful conduit to deliver the interventions within the geographic area under consideration. The Canberra suburb of Kambah was selected as the trial intervention area. Kambah is broken down to include Kambah East, which was the control area, and Kambah West, which was the treatment area. The intervention period commenced in July 2018 and concluded in January 2020. Now, as for Kambah itself, Kambah covers approximately an area of 11.2 square kilometres. It has approximately 6,050 private dwellings that house around 14,900 residents. A major road bisects the suburb, neatly making the areas of Kambah East, which was the control and the comparison area, and Kambah West, which was the treatment area. As mentioned previously, the purpose of using ethnography was to gain an understanding of the beliefs, motivations, and behaviours of the varying deviant communities within the treatment area. Over the period of the project, discussions and observations were made of the various groups, leading to a preliminary understanding of their motivations and methodologies. For instance, it was possible to determine and identify the varying deviant communities, their specific support networks, and each group's planning, preparation, and intelligence gathering methodologies. Beliefs included why the deviants engaged in burglary activity, their tactical reasoning, and importantly, what they were afraid of. Behaviours included their target selection methods, ways to determine occupancy, early warning methods, entry tools, and the preparation of escape routes, and most importantly, what measures they used to counter their major fears. Interventions. Interventions were developed to guide deviants along alternative pathways. The interventions were specifically tailored to intervene in the processes and support methodology of deviant burglars. In general, interventions included active management of the overall process, the use of peer and sibling influence to guide deviants along alternative pathways, and the use of Neighbourhood Watch as a conduit to support the interventions. Results. The results were gathered through direct observation of deviants in the process of burglary. Also, informal interviews were conducted with deviants, former burglars, Kambah West residents, and the area coordinator. All observations and informal interviews indicated that deviant burglars were familiar with and were affected by the various methods of intervention. Each intervention was then proven to have a positive effect. The incidence of burglary. Regarding the incidence of burglary, this graph illustrates the number of burglary incidents in the 19-month pre-intervention period. On the left is the control area of Kambah East, and on the right, the treatment area of Kambah West. As can be seen, Kambah West had significantly more incidents of burglary. This graph illustrates the input of the number of burglary incidents that occurred in each area during the intervention period. As can be immediately identified, Kambah West, the two columns on the right, had significantly less incident of burglary during the intervention period than during the pre-intervention period. This decrease measured 41.9% drop in burglary crime. Also, as can be identified, a comparison between the control area of Kambah East and the treatment area of Kambah West shows that during the intervention period, Kambah East suffered a slight increase in burglary crime. The overall conclusion is that the interventions dramatically reduced the incidence of burglary crime in Kambah West, while the number of burglaries in the control area rose only slightly. Investigations into other possible causes for the reduction in burglary crime found that there were no police operations that targeted burglary throughout either of the two intervention periods. Police crime reduction was limited to one person who was arrested and incarcerated during the pre-intervention period. However, burglary crime did not decrease. There were community assistance programs throughout both intervention periods. However, there was no appreciable change in programs that would indicate a drop in burglary crime. Displacement, which is the movement of criminal operations from one location to another caused by some form of crime prevention intervention, may have occurred. However, if that's correct, it actually proves the hypothesis. The future. Although this is preliminary research, this research may indicate that there may be opportunities to reduce crime between developmental and environmental methodologies. Also, from a practitioner's view, this method has been and could be further adapted to other operational areas, such as high crime areas, gangs, terrorism, and insurgency. As mentioned earlier, this was just a summary of the research that was carried out. Full research findings can be found by following the below link. Please take some time to review the license notes. Thank you for respecting the wishes of Anshin Consulting regarding further distribution of this presentation. Finally, thank you for taking the time to review this presentation. We hope you found it useful for your own research and work. Please feel free to contact David Harding on david.j.harding@hotmail.com if you seek further information regarding the research outlined here. Or if you wish to engage the services of Anshin Consulting, please email david@anshinconsulting.com. Thank you.